Turn it on because we just let me know when you get ready to hit the. I
Yeah,
guess I'll
we'll
see
do.
it.
Yeah, we'll let the timer expire.
No matter, that's it. Don't foul. All right, there got to be some etiquette on that. Maybe I need to change my run out to that. What's the etiquette of when you need to stop fouling? You know it's over. How many points you got to be down in the last 10 seconds before you stop fouling?
3 possessions.
So 9 points in 10 seconds.
No, because it could be seven. Well, yeah, eight really, I guess. Assuming
What
that
are
you
you
don't
saying?
get like a foul on a three that also goes in. Like you're only getting 3 points a pop. 6 points in 10 seconds isn't unheard of.
No.
6 points in 5 seconds though, that is unheard of.
We were watching what game? Oh, well, I guess we were watching the Phoenix game. They were down by a whole lot and they kept out. I mean, like 15 points. So making the game way too long. But anyway, let's hit it.
All right,
I'm gonna have to go get them.
roll the intro.
Well, yes, it is a fabulous Wednesday. Uh I'm actually not in Texas right now, so I apologize. My internet is slow, or if you hear crazy noise out of my hotel room or anything like that. But I'm actually out on vacation. It's our anniversary trip that Consuela and I are taking. So I appreciate you guys for taking the time to come and watch and be a part of Teague's Take tonight. Quick reminders: if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube page, if you're just a listener, go ahead and hit Teague's Take and go ahead and subscribe to our page for us. We'd very much appreciate that. Hit that little bell too, so you know when the shows come on, because it's going to be a little bit different after the end of this month. It will not be a weekly show. It'll be every other week. So you want to know what's going on there. Uh, so I want to jump into a couple things today. Me and JT got quite a few things to talk about, primarily about Super Bowl and things of that nature. But it seemed like some other stuff kind of popped up that I might just throw in just because they're kind of fun topics. Um, but what I want to say today was, and it's mainly because I'm out on a trip right now, is how much do you travel? How much do you travel? Um, whether it's in your state or within the United States or outside of it. But I'd highly recommend it. Um, not only is it good for your soul and stuff, you actually get to learn a lot about your friends, your spouse, see what they like, what they don't like, and things of that nature. And so we're actually out in Sedona right now. We're in Sedona, Arizona, and man, it's a beautiful country. A lot of great things happening out here. Um, but that's not the point. My point is really how Consuelo and I have really enjoyed this time, just food and driving and getting away and being in a mountain, up in the mountains, um, and down below. It just does something for your soul. It's kind of cool to be able to have this opportunity. So, I don't know your financial status and all that kind of stuff, but anytime you can get away, go do something, have a little bit of fun, get out of your town, out of your city for a little while, let go of all the stresses of work, of people who don't know what they're talking about, that are bugging you, all this kind of stuff. Just let your head down and and let it be, because I think that is an awesome thing to do. And me and my family have been blessed that way, and we hope that you can do the same. So I want to go ahead and bring in JT, our co-host right now. He's the man with the plan. I see he got on his Hebron gear, his high school
Yeah.
stuff. Is that actually the stuff that you did? You go buy something new, or is that
No.
you the same size?
Yeah. You let me see if I can show you, because you can actually tell that it's still the one that I had in high school, because the pocket's broken. So
Well,
it's quite old enough to where it's, what is it? It's 12 years old now, at least.
well, your mom says you know someone who can fix that for you
Yeah.
if you really wanted to get the pocket fix. And, let me say this before we get into this, because Consuelo, who's over here to my left, she didn't even know I'm going to do this. But you know what? I'm going to do like a little docu series of this little trip that we've taken. Can you believe, JT, that I have not posted anything about the trip at all? I've not sent any pictures. Taking some great pictures. No videos. I've not posted anything. I don't even think your mom knows that at this point. So nothing on Instagram, nothing on Facebook, nothing on Twitter. Um, and the reason is I thought this would be kind of cool for us to go back and kind of talk about this, because I think you know this story, but the others don't know how this actually came about and how we actually ended up in Arizona and not somewhere else. I
Yeah.
see
Well,
her
I know,
chuckling.
because mom told me how you ended up. Yeah. No, that story is wild.
Yeah, so I'm going to encourage you to go ahead and follow me at Teague Football on Instagram or Twitter.
I
Um,
need to figure out how to clip this so I can make this its own video.
yeah, so I'm just going to tease it. I'm not going to say it, but we weren't supposed to be here in Arizona. We were supposed to be somewhere else, but uh, the smart, dumb George Teague had a master plan of being very, very secretive, and it failed very, very quickly. And my wife kind of helped me pull out of that deal. So if you want to really know about this story and how we ended up out here uh, visiting Arizona, you're going to want to tune into this stuff, because I'm going to shoot some videos, talk about it primarily on Instagram and Facebook. Um, and then I'll be able to share some pictures and some videos of all the places that we've been out here. I think that'd be kind of cool, don't you think, babe? We can talk about it. Um, Maybe do one or two episodes over a course of a week where I can get everything in. So anyway, there's that. But what I wanted to talk to JT about. All right, JT, Super Bowl first. I can't remember who you picked.
I picked the
I picked
Eagles.
the Eagles to win, so we both were wrong on that. And maybe it's because of how the game ended. So I don't even have to really kind of tease all this kind of stuff in here. Officiating. So before we even talk about that official and the call that they make, do you think what kind of personality you got to have be an official, first of all, on any
um,
level?
you know,
Who are you? How do you describe that person?
I don't know, because I don't know any like real officials in real life. Like,
Well, you knew Ken Battle.
yeah, but I knew him when I was very young. But he is I think militant is a strong word, but I think it kind of puts you in the mindset of like what kind of individual you have to be in order to ref. I was actually gonna so I had a coworker who um I worked with back at PAA, and her husband is a TESO referee, and he has worked very high level 6A football games here. He's done like, Allen, South Lake. He's done many playoff games. I think he's done some state championships. Um, so maybe we need to reach out to him and see maybe next week if he wants to talk about some of the officiating at some of the highest levels and what he thinks, because he's definitely been in those situations where big time calls have to be made in games that really matter.
That's right.
Realism
And
says it
Tess,
needs to be a special needs teacher mixed with Hulk Hogan that spent 10 years in the Marines. That's the kind of person you need to be.
I mean, they all seem to be kind of, and maybe they're different by sport. Maybe we can talk about that a little bit, but it just seems like you got to have some level of being self-centered, right? Or that you want eyes on you because they are always on you. I mean, you're never right. And so people have to just judge you all day. That just seems so stressful that you just, maybe that's the militant part that you're talking about, that you just want to be right and give orders and be a person of authority when you're not really.
Well, and I don't know that's. I think for me, it's like you got to be somebody who can like let anybody just say whatever they want to you. Because I mean, you've been on NFL sidelines, so I can only imagine what gets said on those sidelines. I mean, I can see it on TV sometimes, but like I said, Coach Creighton did not curse at all, but he had a way of not using curse words and making a grown man like borderline tears. I don't know how he was able to do it. He had a way with words on sidelines that even I'm standing there like, hey, this dude has a family. Maybe we should just leave him alone.
I don't know. And I don't know that I've seen you talk to any officials yet in the game.
No, I don't usually talk to. I don't usually talk to the officials because I don't think it ever matters because they have that personality of like they're never even when they know they're wrong, they're never wrong. So what's the point?
That's right. Well, you don't. Most of the time you can't convince them anyway. Like, hey, you know. Anyway, and then I think it's a little bit different, right? Because a basketball official is a whole lot different than a football official, right?
Yeah.
I
enjoy basketball officials sometimes because they get real animated with their calls a lot, like with their hand signals, and they can throw some flair in there and really make you feel terrible about yourself.
Hey man, you catch a charge, a good official will give you a good charge.
Oh
call
yeah,
now.
A good charge and a good tech. Those are great.
Yeah, some of them will get into it on the block too, man. They throw them hip.
Oh man, I need to show you. I can't pull it up right now because I can't show it on the stream. But I need to send you the video of the ref that does his block and charge calls. I can't remember what his name is, but he's Glenn and I's favorite ref because he would get onto it. He would do a couple skips from the baseline all the way. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that and well, I don't see umpires in baseball, softball getting that animated like they used to on strikes or the third strike where they, do the double fist bump like get out of here.
Joey Crawford, that's him. Joey Crawford.
Okay. All right, so we're talking about these officials. They got a hard job, right? They got a hard job. It's all. I think it's kind of subjective, but do you think you could be one? Here's Lil George. Theo is coming up a little bit, and he's starting to play sports at a young age. He's playing basketball, and they got all them little kids out there that are being officials and all that stuff that make $10, $15 a game or whatever, and they're short on it, and you're gonna be at the games anyway, and they ask you, JT, hey man, can you come out here and just be official for us a little bit? Donate your time. Maybe we buy you a sandwich or something. Could you be an official?
Hey, well, I had to do this for one of Jada's games when she was playing volleyball. I had to be a line judge, call in and out.
So you had a flag, or you just use your hands?
No, you just use your hands. So when the ball gets close to the line, you go like this for in or this for out. You had to make calls when it was close.
Do you even know if it's in or out? If it's on the line, is it in or is it out?
If it's on the line, it's in. Got to be all the way across the line. They told me they told me what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I think, I think I could be a ref. Maybe not at the highest level, because I would also be, I'd be the ref that would tee people up and throw people out all the time, but just like real quick.
No patience. Well, you have to build. You got to work your way up, I guess. You got to get graded and move your way up. So you have to develop something before you could go. Be the dude. And I like to see you as a volleyball ref on the up ref
on the one by the net.
Yeah. What do you think this little deal is they got to do with the arm? I know y'all can't see if y'all just watching this right here, telling you to serve. Like, instead of just saying, "Come on, go ahead and hit the ball."
Well, hold on. Before we get too deep into this, I found the clip that I wanted you to see. I'm just gonna go ahead and show it anyway. If I gotta cut it out of the video later, I will. But are you able to see this? It's a little stretched.
Yeah, I see. I don't know what the official is though.
So the official is standing on the baseline next to the L on the Lakers. You see him?
Okay.
All right. Mm-hmm. Here we go. We're gonna roll the clip.
What is going on?
That was it. That was his blocking. Yeah, he got stepped all the way to the half court. I like this dude.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's really good. Yeah, they're showing the wrong replay. They should be replaying the official.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty funny. That's good. Well, I think I could be an official too. I actually told someone here, there's a big shortage in Texas. I don't know how it is all around the country, but there's a big shortage in all sports. That's not enough. And I wouldn't mind being learning how they actually go through their process and what they have to do. I wouldn't mind, going out being a 6-man official first, maybe move over to 11-man football. I'm not gonna do no little kids because I'd be so mad with the kids not being able to play. I'm going to pass that part of like, you can't really call fouls and stuff on little kids. They don't even know what it is.
Right.
So, I need to be around a little bit of skill, and I think I could go to class for a little while, and kind of do that. I think it'd be fun. Maybe be like the Mannings were, get a good little mask on where nobody really knows who I am, have some fun with it.
Yeah, I think I could do a high school game, and I think I could be laid back enough to, because there's some ref crews that, I ran into one this year when we went down to Central Texas, and there are things that you see on the film that you bring to the ref's attention before the game, right? And you're like, hey, they run with this tight end sometimes, and he's not allowed to cut, but he cuts all the time. So just watch that and make sure that he doesn't do that, because that's not legal. Or, they had this other thing where they would hand the ball off twice, but they'd hand it off forward twice, which they also can't do. And they ran it against us twice anyway. But so, you meet with the refs before the game, and I was like, hey, this is what's going on. Just want to make you aware of it. Maybe you keep an eye on it. And the ref looked at me and said, we don't do that. And I was like, what? And he was like, nah, you don't tell me how to call the game. I was like, all right, whatever. That's not what I was telling you to do, but I would like for my kid's kneecap not to get blown out because he's doing illegal cuts. But that's fine, whatever. So there's refereeing crews that seem like they really don't care. It seems like they truly are out there just to collect the check, from whatever concessions they're getting.
And they're homers. Try to wait till you have to go out to Tyler at some point in time. You'll really catch it at that point because they're never fair. They're always biased. But okay, so yeah, maybe one day y'all will see me out there on the court or something of this nature. I think it'd be fun for me to be this. But let's talk about this play now. This Philadelphia play, or I guess it's the Chiefs play, 3rd and 8. I don't remember how much time is left on the clock.
Not a lot, because as soon as it happened, I said, "Oh, well, this one's over."
Yeah, I think it was a little bit under 2 minutes, right at 150 something, 156. I can't remember, but it doesn't really matter. Um, so we got to set the stage with this first, right? So it's been a really, really good game. I thought it was an excellent football game. Both quarterbacks are battling and doing things, and so um, getting down, and the Chiefs are getting ready to go in for try to score either a field goal or a touchdown, but it's 3rd and 8 now. And they got to convert this deal. Now, they have not thrown any pass interference calls all game, by the way. And so on this 3rd and 8 play, it's a little whip route, pigtail, whatever you want to call it. And they throw the flag. And essentially, am I out of line by saying that basically won the game for the Chiefs?
Yeah, it did. I mean, I said it watching the TV. I was like, "Well, that's it. The game is over."
So, in this case, are you supposed to go by letter of the law and say it was pass interference, throw it, or in this case, he probably wasn't going to catch the ball. It wasn't that
We'll see.
bad.
Okay, so they didn't call pass interference. They called holding.
Yeah, okay.
They called defensive holding, which it was. Now, because of how the TV, the broadcast cameras are, it's very rare that you can usually see whether or not they're getting away with it all night or not. So generally, what my thought is that you should call it the way that you've been calling it all game. So if there have been 2 or 3 of those that you've let go, then you let it go. But if you've been calling it all night, then you got to call it then too. So, there's I know some people say, well, it's that late in the game, get out the way, just let them play. If it happens, it happens. Those Hail Mary things, it's like, well, you don't call pass interference on Hail Marys. But I don't think, as a ref, I don't think you really should be looking at the scoreboard in the time and deciding and having that decide whether or not you're going to make the call. I know it happens. But I think the hardest one to swallow is if that was actually the first time that they had held all night.
No, of course not.
I'm sure it wasn't, but
come on.
If that's if it was the first time that it was like that obvious, I think that one's tough. Realism says Eagles had many chances to win. What happened to the history making sack machine defense? Well, yeah, I mean they got scored on every possession they had in the second half.
That's spoken like a Commanders fan. But I mean, he is right. It shouldn't come down to one play like that. It's just, I know it's being compared to the Vikings. Who did the Vikings play when the guy had pass interference?
The Rams.
And the Rams. I mean,
that was the Saints. It was the Saints and the Rams.
Saints and the Rams. Sorry. It just happened to be Jeff. Who was the receiver? Maybe because I'm thinking of it.
It was Tommy Lee something.
Well, needless to say, I was kind of shocked by the call, and I'm just wondering now, with the way the TV is, with so many people replay, officials all over the country watching TV, buzzing in saying you missed it or we got to review it. Are we getting too far out of hand with trying to be perfect? Also, because now They got people in New York or wherever they're sitting. I don't know where they're sitting. Upstairs in I don't know if they only talk to the white cap or if they're talking to everybody. And saying that's a foul. And do you really have to be that good of an official anymore because of that? They go to commercial, then come back and fix something, a yard line, a fumble, or not a fumble, or something. Are we letting them people off the hook because of technology?
I'm gonna say no, not particularly. I think there's other ways that you can hold officials accountable, and one that I feel very strongly about is everybody else. Everybody else, especially in the college and pro rank. If you have a crew or a team that participates in the sporting event, certain members of your crew are expected to take questions after the game. That doesn't apply to refs, apparently.
Interview the official?
Yes.
Why'd you call that? What were you thinking?
Put him up there on the podium too, and ask him what was just like McCarthy has to stand up there. Yeah, just like McCarthy has to stand up there and be like, yeah. So what were you thinking on 4th and 1 in this situation? And he's got to give some answer. At least make the ref, even if he lies, whatever, just put him up there and make him uncomfortable. And at least maybe sometimes he'd be like, you know what, we're gonna let this one go because I really don't feel like explaining what's going on here. Or
so then you're gonna have officials that's not saying anything, like quarterbacks when they mess up and everything else. Just gonna be official speak. Well, I gotta get better.
Yeah. and I think they should take a book out of the XFL too. The XFL lets you listen to the ref during the game. They were mic'd up just like everybody else was. So especially when they're having their conversations and doing their reviews, you can hear the thought process behind it. I think that would probably help too when they're huddled up and they're sitting there talking for 10 minutes and you're like, what? Dude, what are y'all talking about? What's going on? Everybody's pointing this way and they're telling people to move back. Like all that doesn't have to be secretive.
No, that's true, but I don't know, man. I just think they're making these folks' jobs way too hard. I mean, even so, the Eagles actually ended up getting to the which one was it? That Devontae Adams or not Adams? Devontae Smith actually didn't catch the ball, but got away with it, right? And then this game, it was almost the same.
I thought it was the same. I didn't think it was a catch.
But they caught it. Well, they didn't give him a catch. They actually overturned it.
Oh, did they? I can't remember now. But yeah, when I looked at it, I was like, oh yeah, no, he didn't secure that one all the way down.
Yeah, they did overturn it. So, but somebody held the play up because the what actually started happening was they started showing the replay over and over and over again. See, then there's always this pause by the officials. That's why I'm thinking someone's down there telling them, like, don't set the ball yet, because they were trying to hurry up and run the play, and it wasn't set. Then all of a sudden, commercial break, and we got to go. They fixed it and told them no, after review, no catch. I mean, it's kind of, I don't know. I guess it's good to get it right. The human error element takes away, I think, especially if you can't change something like this holding call at the end of the game that actually costs someone to lose the game. I think is a bit much. I don't like that. It makes it look shady, like you said. You hadn't been calling it all like this the whole game. Why now? All of a sudden, I don't know, man. I just think it was a bad call. I'm bad in the sense of timing. That I don't think you should have called it in the timing.
Well, I think that's the thing that everybody has to wrestle with, right? Of like, some people don't like the replay stuff because they're like, oh, there should be human error, but then you get the human error at the end of the game. You're like, oh, well, we shouldn't be doing. It's like, well, you gotta take the good and the bad, and I don't know what the right line is. If you want some subjectivity versus all objectivity, I think that things that deal with the ball, that directly are plays on the ball, catches where the ball is spotted at, which I don't even think I don't even know why we do that. Like, just imagine if you just imagine if you are like an alien and you come down and you're like, all right, so how do you figure out where the ball is? And how do you figure out where they get first downs? Well, see, we take these two sticks that have a chain on it, and we have these two guys that kind of just run out there and put the sticks down, and we move the ball and we kind of just guess. And we've gotten to the point, at least in soccer, where they have these cameras all over the place where they can figure out whether the dude is offsides or not by like a knee.
Right.
And
That's
like,
too much.
it's like we can't do that with the ball. Just like how hard is it just to be like, yeah, we got the cameras, first down, not a first down. It's close, and the thing just tells you like, yeah, he didn't make it. Move on. Let's go.
Oh man, I guess, but I don't think you're gonna need people after a while. You might as well just let the quarterback just take the officials out, because can you write some kind of algorithm where it can look at all the linemen up there too and try to figure out if there's holding going on
Well,
or
yeah,
not?
I mean, you could probably use a camera to figure out whether there's holding going on, but there's still some subjectivity on, like, did it actually affect the play? Like, is he holding way over there and the ball is way over here? Most officials would be like, yeah, that he is holding, but that didn't matter. He wasn't making the play anyway. The computer would just be like, yep, that's holding, and that's holding, and that's holding, flag everybody. But I'm just
Oh,
saying,
well,
like,
it could always affect the play because you don't know way quarterback scramble and all this kind of stuff now, and you don't know when the ball's which direction going to go. I mean, you can get called for holding or legal hands to the face by a corner opposite the screen play the other way. Doesn't
yeah.
really affect you, but I think that my pet peeves are really things like that. I don't. I know I've said it to you before, but how come everything is first down for the offense, but it's
Well, I've already told you how I feel about that too. Like,
defense? But
some penalties on the offense should be automatic third down. Like, we're done. Like, your series is about to be over.
yeah, I mean, I hadn't really figured that part out yet.
Yeah.
Especially in the NFL where you can get those long. They're doing it on purpose, just try to get a flag, throwing a bad ball, throwing
Oh,
at
yeah.
the wide back of the defensive back.
I
You
agree.
where it's on purpose.
I agree. And they never, it's very, very rare that they call offensive pass interference, even though it happens all the time. And I think one that probably should be called more often. And two, it should also be one of those loss of down things. Pass interference is a spot foul and automatic first down, and so is holding. Okay, so the one that really bothers me is that holding on the defense is an automatic first down, but holding on the offense is just 10 yards from the spot.
Right.
Which is like, even if it happens 10 yards downfield, they will just move it back 10 yards from that, and it might still be a first down anyway.
That's right. That is right.
I'm like, what is this?
It's built for the offense, man. It's built for the offense. That is for sure. So, okay, then I don't know. I don't. I think they're going to be talking about this play forever. And whether or not that mess with Hurts' legacy, give him a chance to try to shine and come back and make something happen. Who knows how it would have turned out? I just wish that they would have let him play. Me personally, on that, even as a Well, I'm not saying that because I'm a defensive back. People saying that. Well, yeah, you're just thinking that. I just think that point of the game, it wasn't so egregious that
Yeah, I
I
mean it
felt like
wasn't that bad. I mean, in if you wanted to like explain away like why you wouldn't throw the flag, it being within 5 yards and like right there off the line of scrimmage, and the ball is if the ball wasn't out yet. Like there's so many reasons on why it probably didn't really affect the whether the ball was going to be caught or not. Because look, I know I probably would have been
it
that
wasn't
ref.
that close. It
I
wasn't
know
that close.
I probably would have been that ref that would have kind of like looked and been like, yeah, that's not close enough for me to throw that. Like if it looked like he had a shot at catching it, I'd have been like, yeah, well, here you go. But ball's out of bounds, dude's falling over. Like I'd have been like, no, you just gonna have to live with that one.
I think they do it like the Impractical Jokers. Is that what it's called? Impractical Jokers. You ever watch that little show on
Mm-hmm.
MTV where they have the people in the headset telling them what to do? I wonder if they have someone there to. I bet you won't throw the flag.
It was the punishment at the end of the game, or at the end of the thing, where they're like, look, anytime we tell you to throw it, you got to throw it.
Yeah, throw the flag. Throw the flag. No. Oh gosh. All right. So can we switch now? Can we go to these quarterbacks? Can we go? Let's have a little bit of fun and talk about some NFL quarterbacks. And so this piece, what I would like to talk about, this is not necessarily who you think the top 5 quarterbacks are, but you as a coach, if you were a coach in the National Football League, who would you want, JT, as your quarterback? I want you to rank them, and I'm going to do the same. So I'm going to give you my 5. I
Okay,
think we
well,
should
hold
go.
on. Let me, because you asked me before the show if I had it, and now I have more clarifying questions.
Okay.
Because it'll affect one of these quarterbacks that I have on the list. Is it I'm a coach and I'm just playing one season and I get to pick one, or is it like I got to build a franchise around this dude and we're in it for the long haul and we're trying to be as best as we can for as long as we can? Who am I going with?
No, one season. We're using the starters from this year. You can't put Tom Brady in there because he retired
Okay,
already, so he's off the list.
and it's just I'm taking over a team. I get to have my choice at quarterback, and I'm trying to win the Super Bowl just for that 1 year. Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
Okay. So I'll go first. And I want to start down the bottom, and this needs to be. I'm guessing some of ours might end up being the same, but I'm not sure because I don't know who you are. But so when I started looking at this, and I was looking at who was on the bottom of my list, um, I'm going to say that I actually had 3 guys in this spot. Okay, I'm going to do that so you won't know who my next ones are. But
well, we can do your 5 and then my 5. That way, you don't give me your whole list and then influence my decision.
No. I want to go one each. I'm gonna go mine and yeah. So I'm gonna go my 5 and your 5. That's correct. But I'm just telling the crew here that this was a hard one for me because I didn't know how to rank these other ones after I got past 3. Like you, I had a good 4, 5, and 6 that I really wasn't sure about. So in no particular order, my bottom of my pile was Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Aaron Rodgers. I did not know who I wanted at my number 5, and so after it came down to it, I decided that the person that I would put 5th on my list would be Josh Allen. I think he's good enough. He's got a big arm. I think he makes mistakes though, still throwing the ball around, taking risks too much. But I think his dual threat ability is pretty good, and he makes some big plays at the time. So that's my number 5. So who you got at your number 5?
Yeah. So this one was Tough. I originally, when I first thought of this, of top 5 quarterbacks, I was thinking more long term. Um, but then you said one season. So that was the, all right, I got to get Justin Herbert off this list because he ain't, he's not one that you pick to go win right now. I'm, and maybe this is recency bias, but I'm torn between Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go ahead and lean into the recency bias and just take Jalen Hurts because he was just in a Super Bowl with it. I mean, he has improved every year. I mean, since his freshman year, he's gotten better. He's durable. He can still run with the, he can still run, and you're not particularly worried about him getting hurt.
Yep.
And I think that's a dimension that a lot of teams don't have, where he's I don't know, maybe he's not quite a Cam Newton 2.0 because he's not that big, but the dimension is there where he can still throw a good ball and he can pull it on a read option and actually just run you over and tell you to deal with it. So I think I would put him at 5.
So okay, and so your differences between him and, so for me, like, my difference between like a Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen was, I thought that Allen might be a better thrower.
Uh-huh.
So for you, your main difference is what? Just durability?
Yeah, I to be honest with you, I couldn't tell you who I think throws the ball better. Because
I think it's Jalen Hurts.
I mean, I think so too, but Jalen Hurts also has way better receivers than Lamar Jackson has ever had.
I know, but he's missed some wide open Hollywood Browns and some wide open. What's the tight end's name?
Hayden Hurst.
Yeah. Nah, that ain't him. Hayden Hurst play for. Don't he play for Cincinnati?
Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews.
Yeah, yeah, Mark Andrews. Okay, but anyway,
but yeah, durability. I mean, like, Jalen Hurts is going to play 17 games. He would have played 17 games this year if Sirianni didn't tell him that he wasn't playing. He was going to play through that shoulder injury. You know he was.
That's true. It was the right call, though. It was the right call.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it was wrong. I'm just, you know what kind of guy you're getting in Jalen Hurts. You know what kind of competitor you're getting.
All right, then you get to go first this time on number 4, and then I'll go give you my 4.
All right, so my number 4 was Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers, I haven't seen a whole lot of quarterbacks play in person, or a whole lot of high-level quarterbacks play in person. But I've seen Aaron Rodgers, I think, twice, and I've been impressed with how he throws. Like, the dude, sometimes that man just doesn't miss. Dude's not open, and the ball is getting in there anyway.
Yep, he throws it at people's earlobes, I guess, and get it zip right past the people. I just want to go ahead and say that, ironically, that is exactly who I had at my number 4, Aaron Rodgers. As my guy, just because he's been in the big game. He all his pre-snap reads are on point. I mean, he takes command and control of everything. I don't know how they go so fast, JT, on some of those times where he just catches people and when they're subbing. I hadn't really found out what that call is, but I just think the way Aaron Rodgers does that and gets everybody kind of lined up on his.
Well, and he's got the best hard count in the business.
Yes. Now he's a little weird now, though.
I know. Well, that's why he's at 4.
He need to be out here in Arizona. What these little areas we have found out here. But anyway, yeah. So I got him at 4 too. He just He's good. But let me tell you who my 3 is. So my 3, and this is where it kind of got a little bit dicey up here, particularly between my 2 and my 3. Um, I decided I'd like to have Joe Burrow at this spot. I was teetering way back and forth on who I really like earlier, who I like better between Josh Allen and Burrow. It came down to I think Burrow is more stable. Put it that way. I think he
like more consistent.
More consistent. Yes. He doesn't necessarily take the unnecessary risk that Josh Allen will. He may hold on the ball too long sometimes, but he won't force a throw necessarily just to try to get it in there and end up with a dumb interception or something. He is a little bit. He's durable. He can run some when he needs to. I just kind of like the chip that he has on his shoulder too. He's just kind of a cocky kind of guy, a little swagger, and I think he just came into the league with just, and I'm that guy. I got my persona, my stuff, and he hadn't wavered from that, and he's actually done very, very well. I think if they ever give in this particular chance, if they give him some offensive linemen, I know they tried to, but they all got hurt this past year. If they ever solidify a line in front of him, he's going to be really, really good. So I put him at my number 3. Let's say you.
I'm gonna shock you with this one. My number 3, I've got Matt Ryan.
You are
no, I'm just playing. No, Matt Ryan might be like 3rd from the bottom. No, I have Josh Allen in this spot. I think Josh Allen, like you said, he's got a very big arm. When you get into a gunslinging contest, Josh Allen can keep you in a game. But like you said, he's not as consistent as some of the other guys. And I'm not sure that he's not saying that he's not athletic, but I don't think he is as athletic because he's such a big dude. What is he, like 6? Is he 6'7"? Is he that tall?
6'6". He's 6'6" and some change. Might be closer to 6'7". He's fast too.
He is fast. But there are some with the other 2 quarterbacks on this list. There are just some throws that I've seen that are just they're unbelievable. They're hard. They're throws that I don't think Josh Allen can make.
Yeah.
But that's also just because Josh Allen's 6'6" or whatever. I think you can. There's some things that you can do when you're a little bit shorter and you're not that big of a dude. But yeah, so I'll put Josh Allen at 3.
Well, his ball comes out so hot, man. I mean, you can see it if you really watch the TV and the way it comes out. Like you said, some of the throws he makes are incredible. But I like the way he runs. He's starting to become a turnover machine a little bit, Okay, so who you got it to?
This one was hard. So I think 2 and 1 was tough. Once we get to 1, I'll tell you what separated it truly. But 2, I have Joe Burrow.
Okay.
I think he makes good decisions. I think even with the line that he had, they won a lot of games because of Joe Burrow. And I thought that they were going to lose a lot of games because of the line. I didn't think they were going to be able to protect him very well. But even last year, didn't the Titans sack Burrow like 9 times and
way too many,
and
yes.
They still went on to win the game anyway. Like that, I mean, that's just how good of a quarterback he is. He can spread the ball around to anybody. I know Jamar Chase is his favorite and his buddy, but T. Higgins is still getting the ball. Boyd is still getting the ball. And the fact that he's, you take a franchise that hadn't won a playoff game in forever, and other than his rookie year when his ACL got all messed up, he's been to a Super Bowl and he's been in the AFC Championship every full season he's had. Says a lot for a team that couldn't get out of their own way for 15 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, I'm down with that because I think I don't know. We'll get into maybe how people are really ranking their top 3 quarterbacks just in the league now. But so my number 2 is, this might surprise you a little bit. I don't know, based upon what you said, but it's Hurts is my number 2
Oh,
guy.
okay.
And it really boiled down this to me because I think he's a true dual threat quarterback. And I think anytime you got a quarterback, it's like similar to how you have Josh Allen, because I think he's a dual threat quarterback. They just don't use him necessarily that way as much as they use Jalen Hurts, because they will have a lot of design runs for Josh Allen, but there are a lot of design runs for Jalen Hurts. And that is a truly different dynamic when you know it as a defensive coordinator, when you got a quarterback that can run and who can throw the ball. So even if he gets in trouble, he can tuck it and get gone. That's a problem,
Mm-hmm.
you know. I think maybe in the past, Jalen was maybe, the question, could he really throw it? We knew he could run, blah, blah, blah. But this year, I think he really showed that he's pretty accurate. I mean, he didn't even throw any picks in the doggone in the game. I think he actually would have won if he wouldn't have fumbled.
Oh yeah, I mean he gifted Kansas City 7 points.
Yeah. And, he's buying time and he's doing some things and he'll take off on you. I mean, the good thing was I got to watch him some being the analyst for the Cowboys and really truly watching him against the Cowboys. You could kind of see, and really study what he was doing. He's in a good spot. And so for me, it really came down to his dual threatness, because I think he throws the ball well enough that if I need him to stand back there and throw the ball, he could. But I could have another wrinkle by saying, you know what, I want to run a quarterback power or a quarterback sweep as well. And he's going to fight for it and go get it because he is durable and can handle it and not hurt himself. So let me recap that. I had Allen at 5. You had Hurts at 5. I had Rodgers at 4, and so did you.
Mm-hmm.
I had Burrow at 3. You had Allen. And then at 2, I had Hurts and Burrow. You had Burrow. So we basically already picked all the same people. So I don't know if our number ones are the same.
I'm sure they are. Because if Mahomes doesn't make the list, then something's wrong with us.
Yeah, so I got Mahomes at number 1 as my guy that I got to have right now if I'm going to go win a championship. I guess I give a couple reasons. Then maybe I'm assuming is yours too. I like his grit, his tenacity. Man, this guy's out there playing hurt. You ever had a high ankle sprain before?
Yes.
You know how hard it is to play on those things?
Well, I couldn't. Mine was like a grade 2 ankle sprain. I tore some or grade 3. I tore some ligaments, so that would have been impossible.
So you think this is real, or what? People saying he wasn't really hurt like that. I saw it. He looked like he was hurt.
Yeah. Well, look. So I don't know. I've been going to physical therapy for my Achilles once a week so far, and the guy who the physical therapist, the guy that was working on me, he didn't say that it wasn't a high ankle sprain, but he said that he doesn't believe that it's nearly as bad as people thought it was.
To be, yeah.
Mainly he was just saying like, if it was a grade 2 or higher, like it doesn't matter how much stuff they would have shot him up with, he wasn't going to be able to run around and do the things that he was doing. But then he was also saying that his ankles are probably loose anyway, because like this kind of stuff happens all the time. He was probably already tweaked and limping and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I know he didn't. I know he couldn't have possibly torn the ligaments like I did in mine, because he wouldn't have been able to actually like walk at all. But it did look nasty.
Oh yeah.
That said, though, it was clear that he was hurt, and there was a ball he threw in the AFC Championship game against the Bengals that was basically he didn't have 2 feet on the ground. He didn't use his plant foot. It was basically all front foot and one arm, and it was side-armed, and he threw it like 30 yards on a rope into the end zone. And I was like, yeah, that's nobody else can do that.
Yep. I 100% agree. He always finding ways to make things happen. So unorthodox. I don't even know how you coach the dude.
You don't. You get out the way.
He just give him the plays and give him the concept, and he figures it out, I guess. And so he got good rapport with his teammates, it seems like, which is always good for quarterbacks. And you can tell he's a leader. They love him. They had his back with the Burrow head and all that other kind of talk that they were doing. And so many guys talked about it, really wanted him to, shine and play. I mean, it was just what he does is just absolutely amazing. No, he's not necessarily the dual threat guy that you have, but he runs well enough that he can get out there and escape if he needs to. I mean, shoot, you saw him punch on the gas a couple times this past game with his bad ankle.
Yeah.
Didn't look bad at all because he was running good. But, side note with that, man, the way technology is now with I don't think people really realize how much time they actually have to rehab. If you're spending all day there, I mean, can you imagine just sitting? I don't know when too much is too much. I don't really know that, but I just think about when I was playing, you're going in the morning at 7, you're not leaving till 5 or so in the afternoon.
So basically what you're saying is just like everybody else who has a regular full-time job, instead of having to worry about doing whatever it is that you're worried about doing, you're just rehabbing that whole time.
You're rehabbing the whole time. You ice tubbing it, cold tubbing it, go back in there, get some stem, take a nap where they got the thing on, take some pain medicine, whatever.
Get a massage.
Get your massage and roll it out. Go eat lunch. Take a nap, come back. Let's do it again. Go
all that while you can still be watching film anyway, because you got your iPad on the training table.
Yeah, got it all done. I mean, it's just an unbelievable amount of time that you have to do that, and it just.
Yeah, I mean that's a good thought, because like I said, I'm going to physical therapy, and it's like 45 minutes to an hour, right? I go down there and do my little exercises, and they say, all right, get out. I got another guy coming in or whatever, and you go home and you're doing it. You're trying to do some things yourself, and you're only there one time a week or 2 or 3 times a week for an hour. You're not there 7 days out of the week for 8 hours getting worked on and getting high quality care.
Oh yeah, you $250 billion man or whatever you got, and man, they bring in all stops, to get you back on the field. So, all right, so do I have to ask just because I'm assuming he's your one?
Yeah,
well?
like I said, that when I saw that throw in the AFC Championship game, I looked at Emily and I was like, I know you're not going to appreciate this as much as I did, but that was one of the greatest throws I think I've ever seen. Just mechanically, on like how they don't teach you to throw a ball that way, and you would immediately tell a kid like, hey, you're never going to be able to throw the ball far and with any kind of zip if you were to throw the ball that way. But Patrick Mahomes can. You just
yeah.
And I think that's the problem. I think that's like, everybody wants to be Patrick Mahomes and do what Patrick Mahomes does. And I'm sure there's some coach somewhere that hates Patrick Mahomes because he's like, my kid on my team wants to do that, except he's not that good. But he sees Patrick doing it every week, so he thinks he can do it. And like we're creating bad habits is what Patrick Mahomes is doing for younger kids.
Mm-hmm. So full disclosure on this list, JT and I did not discuss these at all before this show.
I didn't
So
even have mine set until he asked me. So
yeah, so these for us to have the same five and for you to even actually bring in Lamar, because I was wondering if you were going to have Lamar Jackson in there.
no, he was a thought, but I don't think he was seriously in contention for top 5.
So were there any other mentions that you might have? Because I actually thought about what I want to have Fields at one point, just for going on my deal of being a dual threat guy.
I'll be honest, Fields never even crossed my mind.
Mm-hmm. Well, you didn't think about it until then. You didn't even look at the list of quarterbacks.
Well, yeah, but like the Bears are also just so bad.
Yeah, is that his fault?
No, it's not all his fault, but like
they couldn't even get open.
Hey, I'm just saying. All I'm saying is I think that the quality of the Bears receivers and the quality of the Packers receivers are about the same.
All right.
One has Aaron Rodgers and the other one doesn't. Like I think if you put Aaron Rodgers on the Bears right now, they don't have the number 1 pick.
All right. I'm trying to even think of who their wide receivers are. I know they got Komet, the tight end.
I know at one point they had like 11 tight ends on the roster. Do you remember that?
No.
I think it was this offseason because I was talking to Pac-Man. You know, Pac-Man's a Bears fan, and I remember having a conversation about the Bears having 11 or 12 tight ends in training camp. And I was like, why? Why do you need that many tight ends?
But they're going to run the ball. I mean, they got David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert. I think that's his name. The other running back. I like both of those running backs.
Yeah, I'm going to look up the Bears depth chart real quick. So their receivers are Chase Claypool, Equimania St. Brown, Byron Pingle, N'Keal Harry.
Boo. Well, he's pretty good, ain't he?
I mean, he's all right. He's not great.
No. This whole Lamar Jackson kind of thing. Ain't got nobody to throw the ball to.
Yeah. So I mean, we're gonna go to the Packers real quick. Alan Lazard, Christian Watson, Randall Cobb, and some dude named Romeo Dubes.
Dubes is pretty good. Dobbs. But still.
I don't know. But that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, those are comparable. Those are comparable wide receiver rooms.
Okay. I mean, I'm definitely going to take it. I was just wondering if there's anybody else that came into mind that was like, who's really out there,
I'll look at this just to.
You didn't say Dak.
No, I didn't say Dak. No, Dak throws way too many interceptions.
You
didn't say Kirk Cousins because as soon as he gets into prime time, it's going to be terrible.
Kirk Cousins, no Tua.
Yeah, so the other one that I did actually cross my mind was Trevor Lawrence, but I was like, I just saw this man throw 4 picks in a playoff game. He'll get there, but he ain't ready yet.
Yeah, no, you're right. Okay, here's my last thing. Then I'm gonna go because we're gonna have to go eat dinner.
Gino?
And this is something different. No. This is something totally different. I want to see if you actually thought about this or if you actually see it on TV in the games where, they always highlight when the quarterback hits his head on the ground after he gets tackled. Right? It's a serious thing. I'm not trying to take away from it because there's a problem when you hit your head on the turf. stopping the game, whatever. Really highlight it. Have you ever really noticed how many times that actually happens to wide receivers and running backs during the game too, and they never ever really ever talk about it or
Um,
stop it because they get tackled. Boom! I don't know how many times I've seen they're catching the ball. Think about how many times they're catching the ball over the head, going backwards. They fall down, land on the butt. Their head hits the turf. What a great catch! Blah 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 blah. Player gets up, runs, does a little some high fives, and he remains in the game. They don't stop the play like they do when it's
mhm.
hey, let me check your eyes real fast or something. Um, I guess I'm only really making a statement just to say people should really watch for that because when they're trying to protect certain people, they're not protecting everybody. Not that I want the game to be stopped every time someone head hits the ground, but if you're going to do it, you need to do it. There's running backs and wide receivers, defensive backs falling down. I mean, just think about how many times that people are off their feet catching the ball and when they land with no hands.
Yeah, I mean, I have kind of thought about it because when you said it, I was like, yeah. My first thought was, I'm sure the other skill positions hit their heads on the ground all the time, but how often is it that they're completely well, one, my first thought was how many times is them going backwards? Because it was like anytime the quarterback happens, it's always them going backwards. Um, and I've noticed it. I'm not going to say I haven't noticed it with receivers because I have seen it sometimes where like receiver falls, hits his head, bounces off the turf, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know, I don't know if he's getting up from that one or immediately drops the ball and it's like, yeah, because he just got his bell rung by the earth. Um, but I also think there's a lot of times where they are going backwards, but they're still in some form of control of their body. Whereas I feel like quarterbacks are almost a lot of times they're not at all because they're trying to throw and they just get hit or pushed over or whatever. Um, so I don't know. I'll have to pay more attention to it, I guess, next season because I do notice it, but I feel like a lot of times receivers, and I'm trying to even just think of like my own experience, are rolling like it rolling and kind of like flipping out of it, whereas the quarterback is just kind of like hitting the ground.
No, I hear what you're saying. It just makes me think of what would a medical doctor say about that?
Oh yeah,
Doesn't
I'm
matter.
sure a medical doctor would be like, it's all the same. It doesn't matter. And actually, he would
you
probably
know,
he would probably say, we're worried about these quarterbacks, but what about these linemen that are lined up this close to each other and smacking their faces together?
over and over and over and over and over and over again. You don't hear much about that part either,
Oh
but
yeah,
you
I
can't.
saw I saw one paper basically saying that every time that happens is basically the equivalent of being in a car wreck.
Dude, there's some big old dudes up there, man.
Yeah.
And they coming with some force, But I don't know. There's no answer to it. I mean, football's going to be what it is. I think you can make better safety gear, and you can try to keep your head out of it. But that ground is always going to be an issue. That's for sure for everybody. Yeah, it is tough for quarterbacks, but you got to protect everything with the quarterback. Their legs, their
Mm-hmm.
head, their hands, their elbows. Now, since Purdy got hurt with the elbow, I'm sure. Did they make up a rule for that yet? Can't get underneath the quarterback's arm when he's throwing. I don't know. All right, well, man, it's been good. Me and your mom's gonna get back at it. We're gonna go grab some. The people here at the resort were very very nice to us. Gave us some basically cash to go eat for our anniversary deal. Said, hey,
Nice.
thanks for choosing that place and go. And when people give you those little gift cards, a lot of times you think, well, that means I really got to pay 4 times as much You know,
No,
regular deal, but
that's a you thing.
no, I'm just saying it's like um so Lombardo's is a shirt shop, clothing. They're tailors and suit. They make suits and all this kind of stuff
Mhm.
in Dallas, very high end. But they'll give you, and I learned about that a long, long time ago. Is they used to give these gift cards for like $200. So you think, man, that's pretty awesome. Till you go in there and you got to spend like $800 for the shirt. You know,
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
so that's where I'm going. So it's like they give us this money. I'm like, oh, so this is like going to get my appetizer, something else. But we actually looked at the menu and we're going to be able to eat pretty good, man. So
Good.
I'll say that to say thank you to these folks. So, all right. Well, remind everybody, make sure you give us, go subscribe to YouTube page for us. Um, Hit the bell. JT likes to hit that bell. We're gonna have to get a little cowbell or something that we got, or you got to download a little sound.
Yeah, I need to download a sound. Probably
Um,
need somebody to make a graphic or something that I can put up on here.
all right, I can take that. We got to get us a little closer page, huh? Is what you're saying? We're 2.5 years in. We don't have no little graphic to close
No,
out with.
we need, and I know you see them on YouTube videos all the time. The little graphic comes up and it has a little hand clicking the subscribe button and clicking the bell. We need one
Yes.
of those so that I can just like throw it up on the screen whenever, just to remind people whether why. And we don't have to say nothing. It just pop up and click the button.
I got it. I can. I think I know the guy that can help us get that done.
Well, you also got an accountant because I need to talk to an accountant that does taxes because the one in my house refuses to do so.
What's up with her? Now she ain't all big time, you know. She got a little star on her desk.
I
Not
know.
sure.
Well, look. So every year we end up owing money on our taxes, and I'm trying to
You waste
figure out
money.
how is this possible, and I'm trying to figure
Well,
out how to
we have,
fix it.
well,
Turn on that one guy,
what are you talking about?
the one that we were about to see.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll be able to answer that for you. I'm going to speak with Bernier actually after we get back, and I'll tell
Okay.
you what he's because we're having some similar type of stuff that we had to worry about, and he assured me that his company would be able to help us um, do better with our stuff. So we'll see.
Okay. Well, yeah,
Gotcha.
because I just every year, we do the little TurboTax thing, and I put in my W-2 and all that kind of stuff, and it says, "Oh, you're gonna get a $6,000 return," and then I put in Emily's thing, and it says, "Oh, now you owe $3,000." And I'm like, "What? Where?
Well,
What
it's
is this?"
exactly the same for us. But JT, you got to remember you're in a pretty big tax bracket yourself. I'm pretty sure she climbed up in there too. So your charitable donations are going to have to go up too, or you're going to have to incorporate somehow, probably. If I had to guess and start, uh, what they say, shelling some money, taxing some money. So anyway, we're gonna let it be. So my wife says she's hungry, and we need to
All
get out
right.
of here. All right. So we do appreciate y'all. I don't know if I'm going to be at the Lantern or not next week. I think I got basketball tournament stuff to go to next week. I'm not sure. I got to look. But the next couple weeks are going to be kind of dicey because I got basketball and soccer championships coming up, and we're doing pretty good in both of those venues at JP2 right now. So I may be on the road. We'll have to figure that out. Other than that, man, I appreciate everybody for tuning in, listening, doing what you do. JT and I always appreciate it. Don't forget to find him on Twitter, Bama J13. I'm at Teague Football. And you can always get us at Teague's Take on any channel, including YouTube. So for now, we're out of here. Deuces.